Hey guys, Jim Chester here, Chiro Hustle Podcast, media company, if you will. And I have El Presidente of IFCO. I have Dr. Liam Schubel, the Schubelnator. And hey man, thanks for being here.
Well, Jim, it's my pleasure, and I have to tell you, I always appreciate the opportunity to come on here and talk to your hustle audience here, the Chiro Hustle crew. And I have to tell you, I'm very excited because this weekend here at Mile High in Boulder, Colorado, has been off the charts phenomenal. And you know, Jim, I've been here since the inception. I mean, this is the 6 Mile High that we're doing. And every year I say, how could you possibly top this, right? And he did it again this year. Jim, I have to tell you, there's been 3 or 4 presenters this weekend that have presented hardcore science, right? And I love science. And a lot of people, as far as these chiropractic seminars go, a lot of people say, you know what? I don't really want to go there. It's going to be a whole spiz fest. Everybody's going to be pumping each other up, but there's going to be no practical application for my practice, and I'm hurting in practice right now, and I need some information, some tip tools, and strategies that can make that happen. Well, I have to tell you, Jim, there were people this weekend that presented science. I'm talking hardcore science, and they did it in a way that was simplistic, that any practitioner could understand. And here's the important part. They could use that information to apply into their business strategies into their office and improve the bottom line, their abundance levels, right, financial, the impact level that they have in their community, and the outcomes that they have for their practice members. So, you know, it's like hashtag win, win, win. All we do is win. And that's what's going on this weekend at Mile High. And I wish you were here. And, excuse me, next year, you got to get there. 2019, you know what they have going on, Jim? I was just informed that they have a special registration rate that's going on just today. If you go to milehighchiro.org, you can get on there and you can make it happen. And Jim, you and I see each other at a lot of different events. And the reason you see me at the top events in chiropractic worldwide is, number one, I'm the closer. I'm the speaker. You know, I'm probably the greatest speaker ever in the history of chiropractic, and probably on the planet in the history of the world. This is what everybody says, right? So I'm at that event to close. But here's the other reason. Success is important to me, and I like to surround myself with the top chiropractic producers in the world so that I can learn. You've seen I'm in the front row so many times for so many presenters. As our developer of chiropractic once said, whenever you think you're ripe, that's when you start to rot. And I'm not into rotting just yet. I want to continue to improve, and I want to be in the state of Kaizen, as the Japanese call it, that state of constant improvement. And Jim, I already learned tools this weekend that are probably going to increase my bottom line substantially, okay, and increase the certainty of the practitioners that work with me, and increase the outcomes for the practice members that are served by my 20 chiropractic offices inside my Schubel Vision Elite program as well. I'm going to bring the information that I learned this weekend back into that. So how did I make it to here, Jim? Last year I wrote on my calendar, because success is important to me, I wrote on my calendar, this weekend for Mile High is blocked off. Just like if I said, how do you make your sister's wedding, right? You go to the calendar, you say this is important to me, and you block it off. And that's what I did, and that's why I'm here at Mile High, and I have to tell you, it has been a phenomenal weekend. I am so excited about what we've seen already and what we're going to see in the future. I mean, this afternoon we've got Dr. Donnie Epstein showing up. So, the guy is like almost invisible. He's so great. You know what I mean? Like he's vibrating at such a high level. Sometimes he goes in and out of focus because, I think he's moving into the invisible realm. But what can I say? I'm looking forward to presenting, this afternoon, and I'm going to be talking about some topics that are going to impact the profession from a political standpoint, from an education standpoint, from a research standpoint, and from a business standpoint. And so I think the message that I'm going to deliver in the final hour is really going to tie the whole weekend up, and it's going to help people integrate all the information that they learned this weekend in order to be a better version of themselves this coming Monday.
So one of the things I know that we talked off camera about was promoting IFCO.
Yeah.
And I know that is something that is, you become president how long ago?
So, yeah, right. Back in January, I was elected president of the International Federation of Chiropractors. And you know me, if you know me, my experience in working with higher education in chiropractic, I have a tendency to move people's cheese, right? I have a tendency to move the puck forward. And the reason why is I recognize that we have a limited amount of time on this planet, and I recognize that chiropractic needs to thrive. I mean, we were brought in from the spiritual world to reconnect the physical man to the spiritual man. Somewhere along the line, chiropractors have gotten into sciatica, low back pain, musculoskeletal or musculoskeletal treatments, and we've lost what the true purpose of chiropractic is, and that is reconnect the spiritual man to the physical man by detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation to allow innate intelligence to express itself optimally within the field. So we've lost that, right? And so what I want to do is get the whole profession back on board. And I've worked in higher education to do that. But again, when you move people's cheese, you have a tendency to create enemies, right? And it's so funny because I'd say, Jim, I've been working in chiropractic in about 22 years. In all of my 22 years, I've been attacked by medicine one time. And I've probably been attacked by chiropractors 22 times a day, on that level. For things that I work on that are nonprofit, right? The IFCO, the International Federation of Chiropractic Organizations, I don't draw a salary from that. I don't receive any reimbursement from that. None of my expenses are paid. I do it. That's what I'm talking about. I do it because it's crucial to the transformation and evolution of the planet. And so I have a tendency to move people's cheese, and I'm not embarrassed of that. I'm not going to apologize for that. And what we've seen, as B.J. Palmer said, conflicts clarify. What we've seen, due to my taking over the reins of the IFCO, there was a conflict. It clarified the situation, right? It took the people from off the fence to either be a hater or to be on board the transformation and evolution of the planet through the delivery of the chiropractic adjustment, and doing that through the political arm, the educational arm, and the research arm of the IFCO. And now we are at our point now, we're talking 7 months later. 7 months later, after my inauguration as president of the IFCO, we are now at the highest level of membership in the history of the organization. By the way, not the first time something I've been involved in has had that level of transformation. Sherman College of Chiropractic was on its way. My first board meeting was, we have to figure out what to do to close the school, right? And so my second board meeting, I started to make enemies because that couldn't happen. All right, I had to move the cheese. I had to think differently to manifest something differently. And one of my favorite books, and I know yours too, is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And then of course, Cast to Be Chiropractors is my second favorite book. And then my new book, Schubel's Law of Chiropractic Business, is my third favorite book at this point. But I have to tell you what Napoleon Hill says: you have to think differently, you have to act differently in order to manifest things differently. And if you're happy with the way the chiropractic profession is, simple, don't do anything, right? But if you know that we deserve more, that the profession deserves more, that the people we serve deserves more, well, then you have a moral obligation to get involved. And this is why we're seeing the IFCO growing, because I think people believe in my track record of success, right? 20 chiropractic offices successfully functioning around the world, taking Sherman College of Chiropractic from a school that is going under to now at its highest enrollment levels ever, where they're building a $20 million operation now. Dr. Edwin Cordero said it so elegantly the other day, so that the outside matches the inside, the heart of Sherman College of Chiropractic. And now I'm moving my target in education to the Scottish Chiropractic College. This is a school that's going to transform Europe as we know it. It's offering that option to people, which they don't have before, to receive an education that's based on the detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation, combined with the business strategies in order to do that successfully. And this is what's been the challenge in our educational process for so long, Jim, is that we teach people philosophy, science, and art of chiropractic, if we're lucky, in the right schools, but then we don't give them the tips, tools, and strategies from the business standpoint in order to effectuate or to execute that effectively. And that's what I think my life's work up until this point has been, developing that track record of success and then bring it to the different organizations that I'm involved in, none of which I get any pay for, and which create enemies for me in every single level. But one of my good mentors, George Washington, said, the greatest level of conflict that you endure in your life creates the greatest level of triumph. And we can see now, 6 or 8 months after being lambasted on social media, right? The haters came out of the woodwork to take their pot shots at the Schubel. We've seen now the IFCO is at its greatest point ever, and we're just getting started. And that's what's happened with Sherman College. That's what's happening with the Australian Spinal Research Foundation. We are #winning all over the place. All we do is win, Jim, and I'm excited to be a part of that process. Mile High is one of the center points, the focal points for this to happen. You talk about the power of the mastermind in Think and Grow Rich. This is where the supreme mastermind takes place. There's many people that call the group that I choose to hang out with the Illuminati of chiropractic, because we have a tendency to influence and change the chiropractic landscape worldwide, and it's because of the connections. You have to understand, Dr. Sean Dill talked about it the other day, the value of collaboration. And this is one of my good friends, and I had breakfast with him this morning, Dr. Scott Garber from the Berkshire Philosophy event, and Dr. Zeus. What a presentation Dr. Zeus just put on. Dr. Zeus Cornell from the AMP program. And he made a comment, Jim, that was phenomenal. He said, people look at me, Cornell Cornell, that Amped guy, and he said, I love Amped. Amped has changed my life. He goes, but my name is Zeus, right? And he goes, I'm a chiropractor. And he goes, you're a chiropractor. And we have a common mission to detect, analyze, and adjust vertebral subluxation. Let's stop walling ourselves off and say, those guys are the Amped guys. Those guys are the Schubel Vision Elite guys. Those guys are the Black Diamond Club guys. Those guys are the Lifetime Wellness group. Stop separating ourselves, and let's say, all those groups are created in order to create more abundance for the chiropractic practitioner, to create a better result for the chiropractic practice member, or patient as some people would call them. Let's get together on the mission of chiropractic, which is detect, analyze, and adjust vertebral subluxation. Let's stop fighting with each other. Let's stop attacking each other. And let's focus on what we have together as chiropractors, which is great. And that's what the IFCO is committed to: detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation. If that is an important value to you, if that is something that you feel is worthwhile to protect, if that is something you feel worthwhile to promote, and you feel that education, research, and politics are important to move our profession forward, well, then you have a moral obligation to be part of the IFCO. Whether Schubel's a part of it, whether Chester's a part of it, whether Cornell Zeus is a part of it, who cares who's a part of it? That's the ego. What we care about is, what does the organization stand for, and how can we fund it? How can we get involved with our time, our treasure, and our talent to move it forward? And that is what I'm talking about, and that is the mindset that is transforming chiropractic. And we've seen this weekend here at Mile High as a place where transformation and evolution is taking place on a big scale.
So I know you mentioned something in there, might be a small part of it.
Yeah.
But I know George Washington's not your only mentor. Who are a couple of your chiropractic mentors?
Well, I mean, obviously, Dr. Reggie Gold for his philosophy, Dr. Irene Gold for her philosophy as well, and her ability to make complicated topics simple. And it's one of the things I found. Reggie, there's a book called Keeping the Message Simple by Dr. Joe Strauss. He wrote about Reggie Gold. And I think that's the idea, like what I was talking about this weekend, with all this complicated research that's out there. It's brilliant that we have people within the profession, this Chiro Nerd program that's coming out now with Amy Haas and Bruce Steinberg, that they put together, here's how we're going to take the information and make it simple for you. Dr. Mo from Life West Chiropractic College made the information simple. And so as far as learning how to make a message simple, a powerful, simple message, Dr. Reggie and Irene Gold are some of my top mentors. Now, my success mentors are like in chiropractic, we're Dr. Sid Williams. Now, Dr. Sid Williams, I used to go to DE all the time. And the reason why was because DE talked about philosophy, science, and art of chiropractic. But get this, the people that were on stage were all million or multi-million dollar practices. So I said, great, we've got philosophy, science, and art of chiropractic, which is abundance, and we've got people presenting that message that are living abundant lives themselves, and they're serving their community. So I was all on board that mission, and I learned so much from Dr. Sid Williams as far as communication, so much of Dr. Sid Williams as far as the importance of politics. Dr. Tom Gilardi is another big, total idol of mine, and I've had him over my house. We're going to be releasing for Schubel Vision Elite members pretty soon. We spent a whole day interviewing Dr. Tom Gilardi, and it was priceless. It was priceless. The knowledge and information that this man has on, again, the philosophy of chiropractic, how to move it into the educational world, and also how to move it into the legal political world without selling out. And that's, if I could put Dr. Tom Gilardi in that box, it's having this genius, having this understanding, and moving the profession forward without the need to sell us out, to sell us along the road. And that's, I see so many speakers in the chiropractic profession that may put a picture of Tom Gilardi up, may put a picture of Sid Williams up, but then when you listen to the rest of their message, you're like, that's not something that Tom Gilardi or Sid Williams, that's so far outside of chiropractic. How could you put those two in the same presentation? And so what we're looking for is a greater level of congruency in what we say and what we do. And so those mentors for me were some of the people that really transformed and evolved my life as a young chiropractic student. Because I got to tell you, I wasn't always this big deal type character, right? I mean, I started out watching these people on stage and saying, I could never do that. I could never be so eloquent. And I'm not saying that I am, right? But I could never be so eloquent as to them. But how do you get to be at that level? Just by doing it over and over and over. And I mean, to see your transition, Jim, to see if you look back as when you first started to where we are now, sometimes when I watch your program, I'm like, hey, this guy's developed into like CNN in Espanol. It's like this guy's, let's watch CNN or Fox News, or let's watch a professional organization present chiropractic in a professional way that tells the hardcore reality of the issues today that chiropractic is facing, and more importantly, how can we solve those? And I love the fact that you bring in so many mindsets into this, so many different characters in chiropractic that are producing on a high level, that every time I watch it, I learn some little tidbit from one of these people that is presenting. I watch the whole program. I might not even be interested in 90% of what that person's saying, but I know that they have a different life experience. And here's the danger when you become dogmatic and you shut yourself off. You don't have the opportunity to learn and to optimize your life. So I always watch these programs the entirety because I want to get that one gem that person has spent a lifetime developing.
Well, Liam, I just love the fact for the history of where you've come from and seeing where you are today.
Yeah.
And I know this is probably like our 10th interview together. So I've actually really enjoyed everything that you share because you do have a great tone, you have a great delivery, and you have a great message. And that's the reason why you've been so revered for getting the good positioning on stage.
Yeah.
And that's why when people see you, it's like shaking someone's hand.
Yeah.
That's a chiro celebrity, if I can.
Got it.
And getting that celebrity status within the chiropractic paradigm is something that comes with a lot of arrows in the back.
Yes, and let me be clear. My goal never was to be a
I know.
chiropractic celebrity, I can tell you.
But you saw that there was a need and there was a void of influence at that level, I'm sure.
Here's the thing. I feel that when a person is blessed in their lives, whatever your religious constructs or your spiritual constructs, I feel that when we receive blessings in our lives, with those blessings come responsibility, and I believe we have a moral obligation to share those blessings in the world. Jim, I was at the speakers luncheon just now, and I had the great opportunity to speak with somebody I had never met in person before, Dr. Haley, or not doctor, Haley Jules, and she works with CA programs and everything. I think you probably have had her on the program, right?
I just interviewed her this morning.
And I got to tell you, I really got to know her heart and her soul during this interaction that we had, and I think she felt the same way and the same connection. And to listen to her business model and how she works with chiropractic teams, and it just drives me nuts sometimes. I hear chiropractors like, oh, they're just in it for the money, like they're just trying to build their business. It's like, yes, that would be like you saying you're just trying to build your chiropractic business because you want money. No, you're trying to build your chiropractic business because every day that people don't know about your business, they're dying. People not knowing about chiropractic are dying today. People not knowing about chiropractic are injecting things that are going to cause maybe paralysis today. There's people that are intoxicated because they don't know about chiropractic. There's people that are subluxated. They're shut off. They're disconnected because they don't know about chiropractic. And here you are. You're trying to build your chiropractic office, and you should be trying to build it for two reasons. One, And the primary reason, in my view, living for something bigger than yourself, is to help the community optimize their life experience. And the second result of providing that valuable service, of course, is that you are going to be financially abundant. So you look at somebody like Haley Jules and you say, this woman, when I got to know her and I got to talk to her, her first thing was, I'm doing this because chiropractic saved my mother's life. And my first question, and I know, Jim, you probably had this as a chiropractic patient, and I know I did as well. The most common question we hear when people get great results in our office is, doctor, how come nobody ever told me about this? And so Haley, instead of just sitting on the fence, said, I'm going to get involved and use my personal skills. She had, experience in neuro-linguistic programming, experience in coaching, experience in human psychology. Let me get this together so that I can help create these powerful chiropractic teams so that they can go out and serve better. And somebody has the audacity to say that someone like her, oh, they're just in it because they're trying to make money, or the Schubel Vision Elite program. Oh, that Schubel, he's just trying to build his business, off the backs of chiropractors. Well, join my group, okay? And what you're going to see is groups of those chiropractors that are having record months, that are serving more people than they've ever served before, that are getting greater clinical outcomes. So I'm not going to apologize that for my friends. And guess what? I'm not shutting down. I'm going to expand. And we've gotten, ever since those attacks that I had a few months ago, every aspect of my life and business has gotten better. I have to tell you, Schubel Vision Elite is at all-time records. My 20 chiropractic offices that are all-time records. IFCO, all-time record. Sherman College of Chiropractic, all-time record. I mean, we just continue to win. The more arrows you throw, the more enemies I have, the stronger I get, the stronger I seem to get. I use that negative energy as a propellant to move me forward, because it's not about me in the end. It's about this thing that we call chiropractic. It's about this vision greater than ourselves of every man, woman, and child on the planet checked for vertebral subluxation and adjusted when necessary from birth. And if you had the information that I have inside, you would feel that moral obligation to share it in the world, no matter what people were saying about you, good or bad. I'm not working for cheers here. I'm working for something bigger than myself, a legacy that when I check out officially, when it's time for me to go, I'm going to feel great about the experience, because I'll know that I've left this world a better place for my family and for future generations. And that's really what we all should be working for, instead of looking at ways to tear each other down.
And honestly, Liam, I appreciate you sharing that, because so many people need clarity on why you do what you do, how you became who you are. And honestly, there'll be a day where we go back in the archives of these live interviews and we sit there and we toast clink clink together and we say, man, look at these 20 things that we did together over this past decade. And that's the legacy that we're doing with Hustle as well. That's the legacy we're doing with the films that we make, with the lives that we touch, with how we've elevated our consciousness and our impact and our reach, and the way that we've come into this loving profession of chiropractic, which, by the way, I call the beautiful profession, because it is the beautiful profession. And I wouldn't dedicate my life to anything else besides chiropractic, because I was soul searching at one time, Liam. I was really looking deep. I said, what can I pour my talent, my time, and my treasure into to build myself into the frontline advocate for this profession of chiropractic, where I can start unlocking these secrets of chiropractic for the people that don't get it. So now we have elevated our presence, and that's why we're on the Chiropractic Roadshow constantly, and you see me everywhere. We basically have the same travel tickets, and what's one of the things you guys like to say? Success leaves clues. Well, partnerships and future is where the clues will lead us to. So if we just continuously shake hands, and you can use this too. What I like to say, we go palm to palm. We go heart to heart. And then eventually we get knee to knee.
Nice.
So when you get that transference of energy from the palm to the heart to the knee, that means we're in a unity. That means we built friendship. That means we built bond. That means I've asked you what your name is, where you're from, how you're doing, and then we become friends and have a meal together. And I think what you said earlier with Haley really resonates with that, because you have to get to know somebody fundamentally who they are, instead of making blanket comments and suggestions about who somebody is.
And that's the thing. This weekend I met some, and we could continue to talk about this. Like this weekend I met Ryan Jaycox, for example, who runs this ChiroPraise operation. And I heard from so many friends that I have in chiropractic how phenomenal the results that they're getting. But again, this is the kind of person that people see and they go, oh, he's just doing it to try to build his business is saving people's lives. He's taking your message as a chiropractor and he's getting it out to the world. So is Dr. Jim, I like calling him Dr. Jim. Jim Chester's doing the same thing. Stop making these snap judgments about people that are maybe having a greater level of success or a greater level of influence than you are. Stop putting them down. Start joining us, okay? We want you to be on board. Listen, I know Tom Gilardi didn't start out to be a chiropractic hero. I know Sid Williams' goal in starting Life University was not finances. Listen, he almost went bankrupt a few times because of his commitment to starting Life University. This generation of people now that we call heroes in chiropractic, Irene Gold, Reggie Gold, donating millions of dollars to chiropractic education and politics and research. These are our heroes. This is my generation's heroes. They didn't show up to be celebrities. They didn't show up to be heroes. Irene Gold said to me, I can't believe you're giving me this award. One time the IFCO gave her an award, a Lifetime Achievement Award. She goes, I can't believe you're giving me this award for doing something that I love. And that's the thing, Jim. I know you're showing up here. I know I'm here. I know everybody's here at Mile High this weekend because it's something that we're love. I'm not being paid to be here, right? I mean, this is not, I'm here. This is costing me, right? This is an expense. But I'm here because I know that if I'm not, the outcome is going to be drastically different. And I'm not okay with living it with a lack of potential. There's nothing that irritates me more. It used to irritate me with my practice members when I see them and I see their families not living optimally when they could. There's nothing that irritates me more than seeing a community that's crying, dying, and whining and moaning when they could live more optimally if they knew about chiropractic. And this profession, there's nothing that irritates me more. We connect the spiritual man to the physical man, yet there's so many of us that are suffering, and that's what my talk this afternoon is. We're going to be talking about 4 key elements of freedom, and I'm going to be getting into some more detail, of course, during my presentation here at Mile High. But let me just tell you from my life experience, there are 4 areas that can create a lot more freedom in your life, and everybody says they want more freedom, but they don't know how to do it so many times, and they ignore the principles that allow a person to be free. And so freedom starts from a mindset that we work on. Freedom starts from political involvement because politics control your level of freedom. Mm-hmm. Freedom in the sense of health, right? If you don't have health,
you have nothing.
Yeah, right. You have one dream, that's to regain your health. If you have health, you have millions of dreams. And then finally, and this is one of the things that's hugely ignored in chiropractic, because again, there's this idea sometimes that people that are involved in practice success or business success, there's this idea that we're money hungry, right? And that money is our God. No, in reality, we recognize that the success that you have in business influences the capability that you have to deliver the goods, that you have to deliver the promise of chiropractic, that you have to deliver the mission of chiropractic. We've kind of, for so many years, we've focused on the giving, the loving, and the serving, but we forgot about the business aspect, which allows us to do that, because you can't give from an empty cup. To be colloquial, to speak colloquially, you can't give from an empty cup. You have to be in a level of abundance to give at your highest level. And so that's what we want every chiropractor to be successful financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, with their families. This is what we want to work on, and with the communities they serve. We want higher clinical outcomes, greater number of visits, higher retention, better marketing, better communication, better conversion, what some people would call sales, right? And a greater mindset, and hiring, training, motivation, all these things that chiropractors suffer with. This is what the Schubel Vision Elite program was designed to address, and that's what we're currently working on right now. And this is what I'll be talking about during my 1 hour long talk. I'm going to be talking about some of those ways that we can increase our levels of abundance, increase the clinical outcomes, increase the impact that we're having in our communities, spend more time with our families, and enjoy life more, enjoy the service process. And it's very difficult to do that when you don't have the business tools to make it happen. And so I developed SchubelVisionElite.com in order to offer that to the entire profession. We have so many people that are leaving these expensive long-term contract coaching organizations. I mean, there's people that say, I spent $36,000 over 3 years, and I couldn't stand the things that my coach was saying, but I couldn't get out because I was locked in. And now they're joining our Schubel Vision Elite program, which is only $75 a month. and there's no contract. So the moment you don't like, the organization that I'm on, why do I want to keep you in it, right? I mean, like, that's my whole idea. Why do I have to sign a 3-year contract with you? If the things that I have are so phenomenal and are going to impact and create value in your life, why do I have to lock you into them, right? And so this is what we've done. We've made it completely accessible, and we're well on our way now to having 1,000 Schubel Vision Elite members to be a part of this with my partners, Dr. Judd O'Grady and Dr. Frankie Hahn. Dr. Frankie Hahn has $1 million practice here in the United States. Of course, I have 20 chiropractic offices around the world. Dr. Judd O'Grady has 2 chiropractic offices and does a lot of work with the mindset and how to create a happier family environment. Because a lot of doctors of chiropractic, they ignore the family part, right? And they're focused on the business part. So we try to get more balance and more success in all aspects or components of your life to make your life experience optimal, just like the experience that you provide for your practice members.
And something you touched on there that I'm going to just reel back, and then I will go and close out because I know you have to prep for your talk.
Yeah.
Sid Williams said it the best. First things first, have your adjusting hand here. Second thing over here, have your business hand there. And when you have the adjusting hand with the business hand, you know how to live in a state of abundance. You grow prosperous, and you can begin to think and grow rich better. And you are unsubluxated above the atlas, so then you can transpire all that heart and soul that you went to school for 7 years to become a 1%er.
Yeah.
Chiropractors are doctors, and that's a 1% of the world population, brother. So when we see people that have the highest level of education believing in their own dogma of scarcity, that is a problem. So when we develop better systems and strategies and procedures for the future chiropractor, I'm not just like you.
Yeah.
Maybe you are. I'm not worried about the old bought and sold chiropractor.
No.
I'm worried about the future chiropractor.
Yeah, the ones that are on the fence.
That's where we're headed, is we're headed down the line, and we have to nurture the future of chiropractic. And that's why I think leadership is so integral to what I've been able to, I study chiropractic every day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I am in the trench every day. And, I know I heard Sean Dill one time say, I don't like to be in the trenches because my shoes get dirty. Well, my shoes have been dirty for a long time, and I've just been keep on serving, keep on leveling up. But I do know these things, that if you do have good success principles, you build a good team around you. There's nothing better than a good team.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, and here's a book recommendation for you at home. Okay, you ready for this? Write this down. Rocky Romanella. He's the CEO of the UPS. He was the CEO of the UPS chain. You know the UPS store? So he developed that brand, and he brought it to the world, and he developed he was in charge of these multinational, almost billion-dollar operations. And he wrote a book called Tighten the Lug Nuts. Right, and I have an autographed book from him, and he wrote in it. He says, Liam, he says, what is it? Information is to the. Excuse me, I'm going to blow the whole quote. You ready for this? So he said, creativity is to the information age what ore was to the industrial age. The majority of my day is spent not in maybe certain trenches, but it's in other trench. I'm in the creativity trench, right? Because of the systems that I've developed, that gives me the time to think and grow more abundant, to think and allow the chiropractic profession to grow more abundant. And that's to think and allow chiropractors to see people and see them with a greater level of clinical outcome. All these things are possible because of the systems. They allow me that level of freedom, and they allow me that level of creativity. And this is what you need to get in your life, is more creativity in the information age, so that you can get more information out, so that you can have a greater impact, so that you can move people to make better decisions about their life, so that in the end we can reconnect the physical man to the spiritual man and create this world of optimal, innate expression. And that's the big idea that we're all talking about here this weekend at Mile High. Gosh, I wish you were here joining us, and I hope you join us next year. You can go on the website, www.milehighchiro.org. If you want more information how to get better systems in your business to create more freedom in your life and improve the level of service that you provide and the quantity of service that you provide and the impact that you can make on your community, well, then get in contact with us at SchubelVisionElite.com. I got to tell you, try us out. The most you could ever lose is $75 for the first month. But, we just had a guy that told me, Dr. Jake Hansen, by the way, This is why Mile High is important. Ready? Dr. Jake Hansen spoke to me this time last year in Colorado, and he was thinking about opening up his chiropractic practice.
And he did.
And he did. And he said, what's this Schubel Vision Elite thing about? And he says, I'm thinking about joining it. Well, I just interviewed him yesterday, and he says to me, this past year, I've made more income than in my first 8 years of practice, number one. He said we had our record month in August so far, which has been usually the down month, right, in the past. And he said, my only regret in joining the Schubel Vision Elite program was that I took my time after Mile High. 3, 4 months, 5 months passed before I took action, right? And so if you're watching and you're on the fence, nothing will change in your life. You can think about it. You could say that's a great idea. You know, that makes sense what he said. I really do need to work on my marketing, my communication, my conversion, my mindset, my certainty, the training and motivation of my staff. I need to work on all that. But I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And your life goes by like that. Make the decision, make the change, and make it happen. Only you can do that. I can't do it for you. I can provide the tools, tips, and strategies, but I cannot make anybody within or without my Schubel Vision Elite program. I can't make you act. And so this is what we need for the people, as Dr. Cornish said this morning. We've got to get the people off the fence. Stop wasting your life sitting on the fence and thinking about it. You know, my good friend Rob Schiffman calls it stinking thinking, right? I'll think about it. I'll think about it some more. Start taking more action in your life, and you know what you're going to start to notice? Your whole life's going to change when you take the action. So I look forward to seeing you on the inside of SchubelVisionElite.com. Go to www.SchubelVisionElite.com. I look forward to seeing you as a member of the IFCO, www.ifcochiro.org. And I look forward to working with you to improve the quality of lives of doctors of chiropractic and the communities that they serve. And Jim, I have to tell you, as always, thank you for the invite. It's always an honor for me to be asked to be on your program. And I have to tell you, it's an honor for me to spend time with you folks here at home. I appreciate you liking this. I appreciate you sharing it, getting the message out. Gosh, I know there's so many chiropractors out there that have these beautiful hearts. I know that's a big part of the reason why you're in this profession. It's a heart-centered profession. They have beautiful hearts, magical hands, these beautiful minds, wonderful intentions, but they're lacking the business skills to effectuate actual progress and actual abundance in their lives. And that's what, if it's not with me at SchubelVisionElite.com, gosh, this weekend at Mile High has one person after another that can help you. Like I said, I had that conversation with Haley Jules, and I was like, people need this. I was talking to Ryan Jaycox. I'm saying chiropractors need this. It doesn't matter if you're with the Schubel team. It doesn't matter whether you're with the AMP team or the Black Diamond Club. What matters is that you're getting the help from people that are the highest producers in the profession to move you forward. And we have selfish reasons in the profession to get you into our organization. And it's not what you think. It's not to make more money. It's to bring this profession to a level of abundance so that we can be that Ferrari or Cadillac or Rolls Royce or whatever your favorite high-end model is in healthcare. That's what we deserve, and that's what our practice members deserve as well. Your practice members deserve to see you successful. You know, if you're connecting the physical man with the spiritual man, what is that worth to somebody? If you're optimizing the human condition on the planet, what is that worth to somebody? Learn how to communicate it. Learn how to create that conversion level. Learn how to deliver the goods. This is what we're here for. We're here to help this weekend. And I want to thank again at the end Dr. Danny and Rochelle Knowles. This has been like a tear-jerking weekend, right? Because it's such an emotional component here because it almost didn't happen. But, to be frank with you, I've known Danny Knowles. He's been an intimate friend of mine for so long, and his wife, Rochelle, and their beautiful children. When you know him and you know his spirit, and when I heard what happened, because he talked to me immediately, I'm like, Danny, everything's going to be okay. You know why? Because it can't not be okay. You're crucial to the transformation and evolution of the planet, Danny. And we're so thankful that the universe has decided for you to stay around. And the message that he received, I think, is very valuable. And that message, what we consider a crisis, we're going to look back in time and we're going to say, man, because of that, all these amazing things started to happen. That's when, as my friend George Washington said, the greatest conflict creates the greatest level of triumph. And we've been triumphing all weekend here at Mile High, and I hope you join us next year. Be part of that triumph. Be part of the change you wish to see in the world. Love you guys. Appreciate you. And again, Dr. Jim, I love calling him Dr. Jim Chester, here at the Chiro Hustle. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you folks for watching, liking, sharing, and commenting on it. Really appreciate you.
And for everybody out there that's been watching, that supports Chiro Hustle, please go to the website also, chirohustle.com. You can listen to Dr. Liam Schubel's episode as early on in our episodes, but it's a gem. So go on to chirohustle.com, listen to Dr. Liam's, and check out a few other episodes and leave some comments and share those episodes as well, because we are interviewing the greats in the profession, and we are creating, I like to call it like a time trust.
Yeah.
We're building this time trust of legacy,
Yeah.
that as years go on and my hair starts to recede more and my hair starts to turn the different colors, we'll go back and look at this work that we've done, and we're going to say, holy smokes, a Liam Schubel thing, holy smokes, this guy stepped up and he helped chiropractic live outside the four walls of chiropractic. And that, to me, is what everybody should be striving to do, is to do something to build a legacy for their future. So I just want to say thank you, everybody out there that's been along this journey with me and seeing, like Liam noticed, this evolution within me to become a better interviewer, to become a better, to have better ground to stand on.
Yeah.
Because this is my sacred space, Liam.
Sure.
And when people are here, it's safe.
Yeah.
And we're only going to deliver the goods. So thank you, everybody that's been out there. Is it okay if I close out?
Please do. Yes.
Just like I always say, you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. See you guys on the next one. Love you guys.